tell me about the bus.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Because I'm European from the UK.
Yes.
I see those a lot back home.
Really?
Yeah, and there's do you know the Jamie Oliver, who's a cook back home, right?
Yes.
He had one as well. He had a TV show of him like trying to make. Someone drove that bus around the country, and he was trying to make a dish every episode, and it was terrible because he was like people were still driving and there's stuff going everywhere.
That's hysterical.
But that was one of his TV shows. But yeah, I mean a VW bus. Who doesn't want to drive one of those every day, right? Or just see it, have pictures with it.
It's fun.
So where does that come from? Where does that idea come up to think? You know what? We should buy a 50-year-old bus.
Right? Oh my gosh. So from a couple of crazy people who just, were like,
is this a husband
we're
idea
just gonna,
too?
no, I think it was actually my idea. So maybe I really am an entrepreneur.
Right, yeah. Like, hey, why don't we get a bus?
I know. I sort of pray that like God will open doors and then I'll just like be brave enough to walk through them, or dumb enough. I don't know.
Right.
If that's the right word. But brave enough is probably. So I don't remember what. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
I just saw a bus and I was like, that's cool. And I was like, we could
do that.
Well, because you start a business, a bakery.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, like this is up and going and it's going really well.
Yeah.
What's the next step? Because you're always thinking, like, you don't want to be stagnant.
No. I've done it with a podcast. Like, everyone who asks, like, what's the next step? I'm like, I'm going to get a van and it's going to be a rolling studio. Right?
Which would be...
It would be awesome. Yeah, and it's a business, right?
Get a bus.
Get a bus. Yeah, I might need something a little bit more reliable, right? Because the 1960s bus,
I know.
I'm sure there are some stories of you on the side of the highway.
Yes.
Please stop.
I know. I pray every time I start driving it. Like, please get me to where I'm going. So I saw something somewhere, and it just like triggered. I was like, we were thinking about the next step, and we were like, maybe a food truck.
Yeah.
And so looking at trucks. We actually looked at some.
Yeah.
I don't really like them.
Just a big box.
They're just,
they all look the same.
Yeah, they're a big box. We didn't need all that stuff inside because everything we were going to do would already be packaged. So we're not actually going to be
delivery than it is. Got you. Yeah.
Except we are not delivering to people.
Right. Yeah.
Don't
you need that size of event size, whatever. Yeah.
We didn't need all of like the cooking items and space.
A
and
full
all
kitchen
of that.
inside a moving vehicle. Right.
Yeah. So I'm sure I got on Pinterest and was just like, Googled or Pinterested, like food vehicles. And I think a bus pulled up, a Volkswagen bus. And so that got my mind rolling. Yeah. And so then I started like Googling and finding places where you could buy them. I'm not going to lie. We bought it off eBay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that I would like. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
To buy a vehicle off eBay.
Yeah.
But we did. We won the auction. In fact, we were at dinner with some friends of ours, who I think they laugh about like our risk-taking factors because they're like, "You guys
just bought a bus."
I know. Our friend is, I think, in risk management, and so. And we're sitting at dinner refreshing to see if we're still the top bid, and we did. We won it. And then we looked at each other and we're like, oh my gosh.
We just bought a bus.
How are we going to pay for it?
That's the thing when you're scrolling and when you're bidding, right? Because it's not real cash in your hand. So you're not like, I'll take it. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Another $50. Another $50. We'll make it.
No big deal. No big deal. And so we were like, we told our friends and they were laughing and we were like excited. But then we got home and I was like, okay, what do we do? Like, how do we have to pay for it. Yeah. We have to get it here. It was in Miami.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So not close.
Right.
Yeah. And you can't drive it back.
No. Oh my gosh.
And that would have been.
So this is.
Or you could try.
We definitely had a conversation. My husband's like, I could just fly out and drive it back. Can you imagine? You know what they're like. Oklahomans don't.
40 mile an hour the whole way back. Where are you at, hon? I'm still in Florida. We're at middle of Florida. I'm still in Florida right now. Right? Passing Jackson.
It's like it just backfired 11 times. We think we're going to make it, but we're not sure. And so we had to hire
delivery truck, whatever it is.
A delivery freight service, which I've never done before. Yeah. And calling people and doing things like that's a little out of my comfort zone. So I just pulled on those big girl britches. And so I had to make those phone calls and, and you're getting quotes. And then everybody, you get a quote from someone and then somebody else calls and they're like,
We can do it for this.
We can do it for this. And if you happen to mention like a quote you got from someone else, they're like, well, they're not reliable. Like, you know, everybody wants to badmouth everyone else. And I'm like, can we all get along?
Right.
Like, let's be friends.
Yeah.
Like, if people call our bakery and it's something we can't do,
right,
or we're booked, like, we recommend our other local bakeries because we want to support one another, you know, and like community. It's important. Right. And so anyway, that's like off topic.
So you get the truck back finally.
So we get it.
Yeah.
It's like 11 o'clock at night. Our neighborhood, there's an elementary school at the end of our neighborhood with a big parking lot. And so we're like, they can just like leave it there and then we'll drive it home. Yeah. And I'm still thinking, you know, I learned how to drive stick.
Right.
In high school, my dad had an F-150.
Yeah, it's a car. It's going to work. This is
no
fine.
big deal. Like it comes. It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not like riding a bicycle.
56-year-old car is going to stop straight away.
And it's a completely different. Like, it's a 4-speed, but the
first key is
rear
down and left.
is on this side. And okay, so it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's pitch black. I think our kids were asleep, and I think we may have just like left them in bed. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Delete that part. I'm just kidding. No, my mom may have come over. I'm trying to remember. I think my mom went over, stayed with the kids, and so we went down, and this guy, like, it was, I have video of it. I don't know if I've ever posted that. It was on the second tier of his thing, his rig. Yeah. And he, like, went all the way back, and I couldn't watch. I was like, Steven, I can't do it. You have to video it. And I just had my head covered, and I was thinking, this is the worst choice worst decision we've ever made. He finally gets it down. It's cold. It was January, so it's cold outside. Yeah. It's pitch black. There's like one light on the school, and he didn't speak any English.
Right.
And
so here it is.
And I had so many questions.
She's like, here's the keys. Here it is.
Yes.
Sign this piece of paper. Say I delivered it.
He was like, I'm not the one. Like, I'm just the delivery man. I was like, but how do I drive it?
You're like, I know it's late at night. I know it's cold. I know it's January. But I need a lesson in like starting this thing up and like how, you know, I need like a run through, right? I need to be introduced to this car.
I know. And he was so nice and wonderful. And he really did try to show me like how to do it. But okay. So then not only that, the lights in the bus didn't work. Okay. The thing was like hanging down. So we tried to like push it up and, you know, it like shocks you.
Yeah.
My husband, it shocked my husband. It didn't shock me. And so you're like trying to use your iPhone.
To figure out where things are going.
Yes. Flashlight.
Yeah,
couldn't think of that word, to figure out like how in the world. And so I turned it on, and I like got it in reverse because I thought reverse was over here.
Right?
No, I don't think he ever
Which
had
makes
it in
you
his
be like,
life.
I got this.
It was me. Yeah, it was me, and I was like, I don't know. And so finally got it going, and I was moving, and then it like every 10 seconds it just would stop.
Yeah,
it just died.
Like we're going to drive this maybe 150 yards to our house, and it's going to take us 3 hours because we are not pushing this thing.
It was so
and it's loud in the middle of the night.
It just kept like dying.
Yeah.
Well, it was cold.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Right.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And so finally got it to the house. It's so loud. Get it in the driveway, and
the kids are awake at this point?
Nope, the kids were asleep, but our neighbors like banging on the window, and I was like, listen, don't be cranky.
Yeah, one time a year.
We're so calm. We're such a calm family.
Right. I'd rather be where you are right now. Like, I'd rather be mad and banging at my other neighbors than trying to fix this car and get it into my driveway.
Oh my gosh, but we got it. We got it in. We were excited. It was exciting. My mom came and looked at it.
Yeah.
It was red and black when we got it.
What are you doing?
Oh, 100%. I think that our families I think maybe by now they're like, okay, like they roll with it.
Well, now it looks beautiful. It's, you know, like I said, that kind of pastel pink and white, and you've redone it. It looks great. But at the time, it's like, what have you done? When
we said we were going to open a bakery, it was very, like, nobody was outright negative, but nobody was super excited.
Right. Like, really? Are you sure you want to do that?
But
like,
that's like, I feel like that's a very entrepreneur thing. Yeah. You know, you have the vision.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that like my husband and I are on the same page because we're able to have the vision together.
Right. Because if one of you comes with the idea and the other one's just like,
Right.
I'm not going to support you with that because like, they're waiting for the point where they're like, I told you so.
Oh, right.
It's that sentence is in the back of their head and they're thinking there's going to come a time where I'm going to tell you that this, but that's the life of being an entrepreneur, right? We fail at things.
Right. And that's okay.
And we take risks or we try things. And the good thing about buying a classic vehicle is for the most part, they keep their value. Right. Or generally, especially when, it's a VW bus because someone's going to see it. And like I said, you put a bit of paint on it, you invest some money in it and starts up. And, at the end of the day, it's a classic vehicle. So it's not going to work every time. But it looks great. And that's the main thing. It's got your logo down the side of it. And it's not just like a Ford van that looks the same as the safe route. Someone's probably gone and bought a van for $40,000 and put their logo on the side of it and been like, it works every single time.
Right.
Or you could have just gone and bought a van, right? And maybe it'll work every time, but when it does, people see you rolling down the road and you got that content of you rolling down the road, it is the coolest thing in the world.
I know. And it's, oh my gosh. Okay, so we had it and I was like, I really want my dad to come see it. Yeah. He had been asleep because he works so hard.
He works. He's a doctor.
And he's so amazing. Yeah. He's like me. He's a pleaser and he just loves helping people. And but he came a couple days later to see it. Put the key in the ignition and it was locked. It would not turn. Yeah. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah. So I'm like back to the guy on eBay. I'm like, hey bud. The key won't even turn.
Right.
And I got to tell you, like, he was so nice and so helpful.
Sometimes you move the steering wheel a little bit, so it disarms
that.
it. Yeah.
We tried all the things. It needed a new engine or switch or I don't know.
Alternator maybe, whatever.
It's just some like key switch with a new key. And so we got that. We had it towed to a guy who was so negative. I did not appreciate him.
Yeah. I'm giving you my business right now. You really need to like help me out.
I know. I think he charged us too much, but we didn't know. And we had to get it fixed right then. Yeah. And so he did do that, but he was like, he kept going on and on about like, this is wrong. And all these wires are all like, you can see them all and blah, blah, blah. And he was
but on the outside, it looks great. Yeah, like, no one's going to see the inside.
I know. And he was like, it doesn't even have a engine compartment seal and blah, blah, blah.
You're like, what is that?
I know. He kept saying the words engine compartment seal, engine compartment seal. Doesn't have an engine compartment seal. So we get it home. My dad, God love him, he drove it home. He's driven lots of old standards. And so I'm like, Google engine compartment seal. Yeah. It's like a piece of rubber that goes around the engine and it helps it not be so loud. Right. So I bought one on some site for $35 and put it in myself. I was like, look at me go.
You're like, let's go. Like, I can do this.
I fix old cars. Cool. Call me.
Call me. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that you got so many stories and memories about getting that, and that's people who don't understand cars or don't understand buses or historic vehicles or whatever it is. Like, they just don't get it. Yeah. But like, there's joy and there's stories and there's great memories in those like rough moments, right? Yes. And then when it works, you're like, this is the greatest vehicle in the world because it's running. Yeah. And everyone's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, the engine started today. Today's a good day.
Today's a great day. And then you just repress all those tears you cried.
Exactly. Yeah. Until the next time.
So many tears. Yeah. But so not over the bus so much. But yeah. So then I drive it. Steven, he taught himself how to drive in our neighborhood. That was pretty funny also. But now I love driving it. It's so much fun. I do, we have a certain radius that I feel comfortable going. Right. I'm not going to be driving it to Norman, because...
Well, and it's small enough that you could also truck and trailer it around if you wanted to. Yeah. Right? Like, you can get on the back of a trailer, and for the most part, everyone has a trailer, or friends has one, or at least everyone has a truck. And you can easily, rent a trailer and get it down there if you have to.
Exactly.
Someone was willing to pay the right price for you to be there, you can trailer it down there.